I think this program is really suitable for those people that might not have engaged with much presenting before, or just need to find that confidence. And it's just a nice way to introduce them into that and give them a little bit of that practical experience that then they can go and work into their roles as well.
Samantha, it's been awesome to share this time and to build a program. Of course, you're on the Learn team with Arup, and we're doing some training, and we've done this training now with a number of cohorts, and it's a training on public speaking skills, and we call it the Proficient Speaker Course. Could you share just a tiny bit about what led you to decide, hey, this might be a course that we need with the Arup team, and maybe what led you then to find me?
Sure. And first, thank you for everything that you've done, putting all of this together for us, for the multiple cohorts that we've had. I think the first thing, we've noticed that there was a bit of a gap in presentation skills, and I think that's come from the transition to go to virtual presentations. And now we're starting to revert back to those in-person presentations as well. So making sure that people have those skills, that they can cross both of those, and also build the confidence for those individuals to be able to present, whether it's in a meeting or whether it's a big presentation to the broader, the broader staff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I think we selected this particular course because it does have a really good balance between the theory component, which is really necessary in being able to identify what those skills are that you need to build, but then everything that we do at Arup is all about how do you go and apply the learning. And I think that that's what this course did, was tick that box of, we can now go and practice that in a real live situation, and also get that feedback from the other participants of what did that person do really well, and then where can they do better for future presentations too.
Absolutely awesome. And it's been really refreshing working with you as well. The feedback that we've had, we've been able to work out and make a resource guide that was co-branded, and it was amazingly done with the creative team at Arup as well. And that became part of the program. I think that was really special.
Mm-hmm.
But just in regards, I'm curious to ask, how do you think that the program, the way that we've designed it, flows from having two sessions, where the first session would be a lot of theory, but still a little bit of practice, going a bit through the life languages, understanding the theory behind speaking and presentation skills, and then making them go home, do a presentation with some actual step-by-step processes and templates, to then coming back with a smaller cohort and also then delivering the presentations. Like we've done 2 cohorts today, just in today, it's been a lot of time. But what do you think about that process? How did that work, and how do you think that might be a good process for others?
Well, I think especially for virtual learning, I think you and I both know that with virtual learning, we need to be mindful of how long we're spending online. People are still exhausted by it and continuously in and out of meetings and looking at a screen. And I think there's only so much that everyone can absorb in that time frame. So I think having that first component where it's just theory-based allows everyone to just reflect on where they might be at with their own individual presentation skills. And then I think it's necessary to have that time where they can step away, reflect even more, and think about, well, it's maybe this component that I need to focus on more, or maybe it's another component. And it's nice that with that theory, there's so many different topics, even though it might be high level in some ways and some you might delve in even further, but it gives them an overview of things that they might need to consider when they're presenting. And then they do have that space to think about that real life project or presentation that they need to work on, and then how they build the structure of that presentation out. And I know that what we've done with the second session was to have those smaller groups.
Yeah.
And I think that, based off feedback from participants as well, and what I've also seen, is it's allowed them to feel a bit more confident rather than coming in to present to a group of 20 or 30 people. They're presenting to 5 or 6. And I think that allows them to get familiar with presenting and that situation without it being overwhelming, and that pressure that people often feel when they present.
That's awesome. And today it was just so refreshing. We were talking about how people, it seemed like, really
Yeah.
followed the templates to present. They were saying things like at the very end, the comments and feedback were that I got the structure. I understand now how storytelling fits into it. I'm asking at the end, this is the one thing that I want you to take away from my presentation. So they're
Yeah.
using some of these really specific added tools, and I think that that's really, really special. Hey.
Yeah, and I think the resource guide is just that extra layer as well, because I think people go through a process like this and then it's like, well, what do I do now? Or they might revert back to it in 6 months' time. We often, if we're just looking at notes that we take in a notebook, we'll forget about it.
Yep.
But having that resource guide that they can go back and read through and then gain that context again and then go and apply it, because that's the point of it all, is to be able to reapply, is that added benefit of this particular program.
That's awesome. That's so good. So last question. So say that you're actually going to speak to other people at Arup, other
Mhm.
team members, other team leaders, and this video is going to go out and people on your team are going to hear it, or else people that are maybe across different teams are going to hear it. What would you say to them, to the team member, the team leader that might have team members that they may feel would be good for this, or else even some of the other just team members in general? How would you describe this program and the benefits?
Well, I think public speaking or presentation skills are vital in every single role. It doesn't matter if you're just having meetings with clients or people within your team, or you're actually doing huge presentations. So I think no matter who the person is, at whatever level, you need to continuously build presentation skills. And I think this program is really suitable for those people that might not have engaged with much presenting before, or just need to find that confidence. And it's just a nice way to introduce them into that and give them a little bit of that practical experience that then they can go and work into their roles as well.
That's awesome. That's amazing. And I've said this so many times, you've heard me say it. If people can walk away from this training loving public speaking just a little bit more, then we accomplished our goal. And people sometimes say that there's so much fear for public speaking, it's like a greater fear than even death. So we want to demystify some of that and be authentic and use that hack, right? Humility, authenticity, confidence, and no. So thank you so much for sharing. And yeah, it's been
Thank
awesome.
you so much, Scott.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yay.